the heck's going on here? Give me a second, guys. Springs either. I guess the spring's kind of shot. That's okay. Well, we're working on the ear. Did some work on the mouth. Good afternoon, everybody. DJ Styles here, Custom Corpses. And guess what? I feel wonderful. And it's been a long time since I have felt good. So here's what I want to do, guys. First thing I want to do is go on, what do you call it? I have to go on here. And I need to go to YouTube. And I need to go here. And I need to go here. Gotta turn off all these notifications. It's driving me crazy. Okay. I'm working on the ears, so to speak. Let me copy and paste this in Facebook. Copy. Let's go to Facebook. Yo.
What's happening, man?
I'm going live right now.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is go back to. Oh shit! I closed out the accidentally YouTube. Okay, so all you Custom Corpses fans, I can read your comments on my new computer, and we'll have a little chat about how my health is doing, and got some good days ahead of me, I'll tell you that. Let me get through here. That's the next thing. I gotta. The room's somewhat cleaned up right now, but I have some more things to do, so to speak. And I'm probably going to block your view for a second or two. All right. Now I can take my glasses off. I got my coffee, decaf, not really coffee, but flavored water. Doesn't have much of a purpose. Okay. So what's been going on in my life? Well, I've been battling my health. That's what I've been doing. And I'm winning the battle. And it's awesome that I am winning the battle. Because of some new medicine that they put me on. And I'll tell you, I've only been on it for 2 days, and I'm more alert than I've been in, I'll say, a couple of years. It's been a while since I've had any health at all. Uh, wow, I'm blown away by it because I had no idea how bad I was. And so I'll tell you what they put me on. They put me on Ozempic, and for my diabetes. And the diabetes is definitely what's been causing a lot of my issues. Uh, and it sucks. It really sucks. I couldn't concentrate on anything. It just really made it hard. Now I'm trying to make the ears nice and what's the right word? And it's not. I mean, I'm super alert right now. It's just as unbelievable how bad I've been feeling and didn't know it. So the Ozempic, I take a shot every once a week. That's all you do. I'm sorry. I'm concentrating too. It's not has nothing to do with I'm not lethargic at all, man. I'm so alert. It's unbelievable. I haven't felt this good. I'm telling you, it's been a couple of years since I felt this good. So I am not complaining. This is like I still get a little bit of dry mouth. But what I found out was Ozempic takes about 5 months of being on it before your body really gets used to it. The side effects are nausea, and I haven't had any of that yet, but I'm on an extremely low dose. So that makes a difference. And it's pretty wild, man. I'm really excited to know that my future is going to be a lot brighter than what it's been. I mean, I just didn't have any energy to do anything. I just trying to do what I can do, and it's starting to look good for me. That's for sure, because if I have this kind of energy now, and getting good night's sleep for a change, not being woke up every hour or 2 hours, having to run to the bathroom. Constantly peeing, that's a terrible feeling when you're dealing with that. Believe me, it's terrible because it affects your sleep. A lot of people don't know what it's like to be a diabetic, but boy, I'm telling you, it's miserable. It is miserable. And the older we get, the worse it gets. Come on, stay in my hand right. Oh yeah, man. So, I'm getting back to work. I'm going to get this bad boy. Now I have to, around the neck, I'll show you where underneath this neck, I've got to put a flat plate to catch the silicone. I'm going to silicone this first after I get it finished, completed. I changed the lips a little bit, guys. I changed the lips. I made them a little bit more rounder. Like out here, it's rounder around the lip to where it's supposed to be. I'll turn it on the side just a little bit, just to show you. See what I've done? I like them. I like them a lot. I like the way it looks. I bulged out. There's a little bit of a bulge right in here and right in here, and it makes a big difference because it's more natural looking. It gives it that natural, facial. That's our there's muscles inside of her lip, upper lip, and our lower lip, and those muscles, from expressions and everything, and just natural things that happen to our faces as we age, and this is before the wrinkles start. So, with that being said, the thing I got to do now is I need to smooth this ear out because I'm pretty close to where I want to be. Just got to be very careful as I do this. This is soft monster clay. This is not, and there's a reason why I'm using soft monster clay. I don't want the ears to lock when I'm trying to pull this apart. I'll tell you, I'm used to using the hard monster clay. And who's on? Who's on? Anybody on with me? Say hello. Who's on with me? Who is that? Cane for life. I think that's what it says. You're at a little bit of... Yes, man, I'm back. I'm back and I'm healthier. I'm losing weight. They put me on a Ozempic, and I've only been on it for 2 days, but I can already feel like the bloatedness is leaving my body. It's just so different. I feel so different. It's unbelievable. Ozempic's for diabetics. You take a shot once a week. The biggest thing I've noticed is I'm so alert. I've lost all that. Oh my God, I felt like I was falling asleep standing up. It was horrible, a horrible feeling. And this is going to be if this is how the beginning of this is going to feel. Now the side effects they say is nausea, some vomiting, some diarrhea, all that bull. I'm on a very low dose. I'm at the introductory low dose of the Ozempic, which is really, really a small amount. And I feel amazing already. And I'm thinking to myself, wow. Now the next, when they up it, hopefully I don't get any of those side effects. So far I haven't got any side effects other than feeling great. But I do notice I still get a little bit of, my sugar does get elevated still. So they have to slowly put you on Ozempic. It takes like up to 5 months to really get used to being on the drug. Your body has to get used to it. But it's an amazing drug, and I think a lot of people would really benefit being on Ozempic. If you have diabetes, I really think that's the case. But you got to go slow. You can't jump on this thing. This isn't about just weight loss for me. It's a bonus for me. But I have to treat this as though that this is going to give me back somewhat of my life, my energy. I've always been a very hyper, high energy kind of guy, and you can just tell in my voice compared to what it's been. I mean, I look at the other videos and I go, oh my God, man, I feel like I sound like I'm like dying. Like I'm no energy in my voice at all. I felt like I was half dead. And it's true. It was very true. So with that being said, let's get busy. We're going to sculpt an ear here. We're going to get this ear like looking good. It's really roughed out. And I'm still getting used to the soft monster clay. The soft monster clay, man, it's really soft. I can really, like you can see, it's soft.
And you live?
Huh?
You live?
Yeah. Why? What's up?
Nothing.
So, yeah. My wifey is checking on me. I guess she started thinking that I was talking to myself.
What'd you say?
I think she thought I was talking to myself.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe the drug's working too good. Anyway, so yeah, I just like I'm a little blown away by the way I feel. It's just really good, really good. I got two different balls of clay here. This is more hard monster clay. This stuff is hard as a rock. And then this is the soft clay. And since I'm working with the soft clay with the ear, I don't want to mix up my hard clay with my soft clay. So what I'm doing is I make sure that anything I peel off of this thing goes into the soft clay. Anything over here, all this stuff here is all hard clay, which is good. Um, the reason why I'm doing soft ears is because of all the locking that I was having. I was having issues when I was making my mold, and the ears were the biggest culprit that would lock when when you're trying to take your mold apart. Your ears would get locked, because your seam is right here. You can see the seam, and then it goes up behind the ear and then back over top of the head, and all this would come off in one piece. The problem I was getting, there was two things. One, I made the ears stick out too far, and I was getting a lot of lock that way. The other reason I was getting so much locking was because of the hard clay. So by putting soft clay on here, it's going to break off real easy. I'm not going to have to worry about the ears keeping my mold from coming apart. And everything else is, as you can see, when you're looking at this, all right, here's the dividing line right here. Goes behind the ear and then down and that's front half and back half. Now the back half always comes off real easy because it doesn't have anything holding it back like the ear itself. The front half is the part that always gives you a hard time. But you always want to separate it like this, because underneath the chin, if I tried to pull it apart this way, this would be called a lock. The chin would lock the mold from coming apart. So you want to go with the less resistance. You pull it apart that way, boom, and I should have no problem with the ears because of the soft clay. And that is pretty much the biggest part of the what do you call it? That's where your locking happens the most. And I still got to pack out the other side. This side was a little too what do you call it? I'm just trying to smooth it out a little bit with my hands, and then I'm going to go in with my brushes and try to really give it a nice smooth texture. Okay, what did I do with it? There it is there. But I want the smaller head for in here. Is that too small? That's too small. And just try to smooth out this stuff a little bit better. The majority of this will be smoothed out with the brush, naphtha and the brush. But I want to make sure that I give myself as smooth as possible surface to deal with, and yeah, that's not too bad. And once I get it where I want it, I'll be happy. Okay, so break out my naphtha and my brush for my. Now this is a little bit stiffer. This brush, I try to get stiffer brushes for this kind of thing, and then what I do is I cut a lot of the fibers off because the brush was actually about that long, about double the length of that brush. And I cut those fibers off to give you a stiffer brush. And you want that because you gotta not only melt this clay a little bit with the naphtha, but you want to move it around a little bit. to smooth it out. Yes, sir. We don't want any. I got the naphtha right off to the side here. See, it's my little naphtha, right here. And I just stick my brush in the head at the top of this thing. And I slosh it around to clean the brush a little bit. Get it loaded. All right. And I just keep it off to the side. And what I do is I go in here and I just keep working this stuff until it's smooth. I don't want to block your view. Hold on, let me try and do this without blocking your view. Sometimes that's difficult because, yeah, see, that's already smoothing out nicely. That's because this is soft clay. Be different if I had the harder clay. The harder clay takes a little bit more manipulating. A lot more manipulating, what am I saying? Now what I like to do normally is when something is real soft like this, what I like to do is wait until it stiffens up a little bit more, and then I'll go in with my texture sponge to give it a little texture. And I mean very light texture, because you don't want a real textured mask. You want texture on it because you need that paint to have something to grab to when you're painting your sculpture, or not sculpture, when you're painting your mask later on. So there has to be some texture. I gotta get behind this ear. I need more naphtha. See how much that smoothed that out? Now you see some brush strokes, but that'll go away when I use that texture sponge. But I want to make sure that I have the top of the ear nice and smooth, behind the ear, under the ear. And the line's only there to do one thing, to make sure that I stayed on that line when I go to make my dividing wall. It's not really there to wow, it looks so much better already. It really does. Now the ears, I find they're very easy. The reason why they're easy is because, what the hell is that? I'm looking at, I must have banged this somehow, some way. Another lump, another bruise. Another bruise, it'll go away. I banged my hand last week, and big lump on my hand, bruised all up. I was like, what the hell? Now I got another lump on my hand. Don't know what that's about, but we'll find out. Yeah, so about ears. Ears are easy, and my reasoning for feeling that way is because the ear is so imperfected. There's so many imperfections in it. If you had actually made the ear look perfect, let me read your comment. I have to put my glasses on, so forgive me every time somebody leaves a comment. So I'll glance over there. Yeah, believe me, it is great news, because I was having trouble even doing this at this point. I was getting into trouble with trying to keep going with my mask making and everything. I mean, I was excited to do this, and my health kind of crashed my party a little bit. And believe me, I'm back. I'm back, and as long as this medication keeps doing what it's doing, man, I'm gonna be killer on here. There's things I want to do with my channel, definitely. I can't do that with, okay, I'll keep the glasses on my head. I'm just trying to smooth out this area here. That naphtha is really awesome when it comes to smoothing out now see, if you're looking at the sculpture dead on, the ears aren't sticking out nearly as far. All right, now I have to pack out the other side. If you can see, let me turn it so it's just a little bit dead on to the camera. There you go. See how this one's sticking out just a little bit further because I packed it out a little bit more because it was a little too, it originally was the same depth as this here. See how narrow this is right here? See how flat to the face that is? I would love to have it stay like that, but the problem is well, the problem is it doesn't look right when you're looking at the face dead on. So now we got to pack this side out. Yeah, as you can see, I've got the shape pretty much done, but I need to pack it out more. So, and I'm using soft clay, so I'm back to my little ball of soft. And all I'm doing is I'm not really going to put too much in here or in here because I don't want to really make that too deep. I don't want to make that too deep and then have my issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this clay in my hand nice and warm. All right, and I'm going to make a little worm, and I want to make it just about as wide as the ear itself, and try to be consistent with the size. You know, flattening it a little bit. And then I just pack out the important areas. I just push that on there until I get it to where I want it. Alright. I'm just pushing the clay onto the ear. What I love about clay, oh my God, is the fact that no matter what you do, no matter how big of a mistake you make, you can just fix it. You can fix it again. Let me back this up so you can see what I did to the mouth. You can see on this side. See how it's bulged in here? That's how it is on the natural face, on the actual sculpture. Or actually the... Now I didn't make this exactly like this lip, alright, but you can see on this face here, see how it's bulged here? And you can see it on this side, definitely. The bulge that's right there. That's actually from the Shatner Life Cast. Now the one thing I didn't do is because I'm trying to make this look still like, I want it close to the flashback. I didn't push the lip. If you look at that angle, all right, you see how the lip bulges out like right here and then it tucks back in at the top? Well, I didn't do that. I kept my lips, well, it does tuck in a little bit. Yeah, so I guess it looks okay. So, believe me, this little plastic mask has really helped me a lot with seeing the actual life cast in 3 dimension. This little plastic mask is from the life cast of William Shatner. The problem is it's very small and it's made from, well, I think even the original mask was real small. Um, as you can see, look at the difference in size, that sculpture compared to this little plastic mask. But no matter how big it is, I know I can bring it up to proportion just by my eye. I'm pretty good with that, bringing it up to a bigger size by eye. But as you can see, the shadowing, this side here, this lip kind of bulged out a little bit. Hold on, I'm not on the camera frame. This side of the lip bulges out a little bit over top of the underlip, and you can see it in shadow there. So this is actually the life cast. I did that to this right over here, but not too crazy. I didn't want to go nuts because I still want this to look a little bit like the flashback mask. And it's not exactly to the flashback mask now because I'm not trying to make the flashback mask yet. That's going to be the next. All right, let me try and put this in perspective. I'm going to make a silicone master copy of this. All right. Then I'll be able to pour up multiple heads in monster clay. I'll just pour melted monster clay into my silicone mold, and I'll be able to make up and then foam fill the clay, and I'll be able to alter. I can put like 4 or 5 heads on my desktop here and work on them slowly but surely, and I can make a whole bunch of different ones. And I can alter. Red Row, what's happening, buddy? We're on, we're live. So I'm going to make a bunch of heads up, and I can alter, I can make a flashback mask, and I can do that, and I want to try and make sure that that's all done for the winter time. This coming winter, I'm going to be doing a flashback, a 2018 version of this sculpture, because this is going to be my base sculpture for all my upcoming masks of Michael Myers. And now that I've got my energy back and my health is coming back, I mean, it's really, wow, man, I can't believe how I was feeling compared to how I feel now. I can already tell you I'm losing weight in just 2 days. I can feel it coming off my stomach area, shrinking. It's bizarre. And so I'm jumping subjects here. Anyway, yeah. So that's going to be what I'm doing this coming winter. I'm going to be going crazy, getting this really nice. I really want to get this. I really want to get this to where it's. I'm making multiple masks, and I'm going to do that live too. I'm going to be going live when I do that. Actually, I got to do them. I got to start making videos. I can't just do lives because the lives you can't monetize those. So I think when I start doing the silicone, I'm going to do that as a video. That's not going to be done live. And you guys can still leave your comments and everything on the videos, and I'll read them and I'll respond to them on my lives. Any kind of, responses that you guys do to any of my videos, when I go live, I'll respond to them, or I'll text you right in on the video itself. So, yeah, I got to get back to doing some regular uploaded videos so I can monetize them. Yes, I'm trying to build a channel up, for when I retire, and that's, believe it or not, it's only a year away. I hit that age where I can get the Social Security, and but that doesn't mean I'm really retiring. No, not ready for that stuff yet. Not ready to give it, throw in the towel just yet with that. But as you can see, I'm making the ears come out just a little bit further with little crumbs of clay. Now I've got to smooth them out yet. Let me take a look at that depth. Ha! I nailed that. Now I got a lot of work to do on the inside here, and I'm going to have to do that with a different tool. Red Row in the house. I don't know if you're still on, but I think we want to take advantage of a piece of hair in this clay. Get that out of there. I'd love to try your camera out instead of doing the phone. But, man, I felt so good today. I was like, man, I got to get back on doing lives and start doing some videos again. I'm getting there. I don't really have to go too much further with this. This looks good right here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start bringing this in. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to bring it into close to the shape of what I left off. There we go. Just smear it in. So it's get the outer edge. Some like this kind of stuff I like to do by hand because it doesn't look, I don't know, I think there's a little bit of touch involved with doing stuff like this. You know, you got to feel what you're doing sometimes. Now this ball, I shouldn't have said complete soft. I added a little bit of hard monster clay to this ball to give me a little bit more stiffer, clay, so I can work with it with tools a little better. I find that the monster clay soft it's harder to use tools with. You definitely want to use. I love tools. I'm a big fan of using tools, but it doesn't mean. All right, so we're gonna take. I think we're gonna use my spoon. Do I want to use my? No, I don't want to use my spoon. What do I want to use? I know what I'll use. Where'd the little one go? That's it. No, that's the big one. Do I have it laying down here? There it is. Of course, it's down here where it don't belong. So we're taking this. This is a little ball, steel ball, and what I'm doing is I'm going up in there and pushing this stuff down and shaping that ear the way it's supposed to be. Now, I always keep my little tool here in case I get any clay sticking to this. You want to make sure that you clear that off. All right, so we're going to go over here. I'm sorry for blocking your view. Hold on a second. Let me unblock your view so you can see what I'm doing here. Now I'm going to go to the smaller ball up in here. All I'm doing is just blending this in. I'm pushing too far forward. You know what? Let me put these tools back where they belong, because I'm not using this kind of stuff right now, and that's just definitely in my way. So let me put these big tools away. You know, you're supposed to put your tools away, Johnny. Yes, you are. So you're not. See, I've got this thing too far forward because I got all these tools in front of me, and I don't want that. So I'm going to keep the tools that I always reach for right up front here. Always reaching for these tools. So we'll keep them right here. Things that I'm not reaching for all the time, I can put back further. Alright, so these tools, I got my little spatula, keep them right there. My little dental tools, these are considered dental tools, a lot of these. Well, some of them are clay tools, but there's dental tools mixed in with my clay tools. Usually the solid steel. This is a dental pick. Yeah, you definitely want a dental pick. It's got the odd pick on the end. I always just keep that. I rarely ever use this side. I always use this side. But I'm sure there's going to be somewhere down a line that I will need that side. So I'm going to put that right there. I'm keeping my brushes that I'm using consistently all the time right in an empty slot. Got my razor. Don't need that. I've got the worm squirter. That's what I call it, the worm squirter. This is my worm squirter. You put clay in this and you crank down on it, and out the top you put clay in this. This opens up here and you shove some clay in there, and then you crank down on it. It's got a little piston that goes up inside of this, and then out at the end there's a little hole at the like if I let me see, I'll just do it real quick. See, that's a worm squirter. Now if I just had built if I really want to, like, I'll use this for the ears too when I'm going out, you know, but I need the bigger hole to do this ear. I need probably like a 1/4 inch. Alright, so let's get back to work. Nope, I want the smaller one to get up inside of there. And what I'm doing is I'm just shoving the new clay that I put into the ear and shaping it and rounding it off the way it's supposed to be. Now, There's too much shadow in here, so I'm going to drop this light down just a little bit. Give us some light. Give me some light. Okay. And now I can see up in here. I try not to touch, because it's soft monster clay, I try not to touch too much of the now that's tough because I can't see up inside of this. So I need to go here, and I need to get this light even lower. Just for now. Just for now. We're going to get up inside of this so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just shaping it, you know. That's leaving those little rake marks and those little things, but we're going to smooth that all out. Don't worry. That's why naphtha is there. This way. I'm using the bigger end now, just to smooth out the inner parts. The more of these little balls and different sizes that you have, the easier a project like this is. You got to have all kinds of different sizes. I got a small side and a big side. See that? And they're not much. There's not much. And then there's like, I mean, they go as big as this. Steel balls. You can get them in plastic. I just don't like plastic because the clay likes to stick to the plastic ones, and I don't like anything sticking if I can help it. Here's a different size, and they even got micro ones. I have them in wood. See the different sizes here, and I always leave the big side down. Then I can see my smallest size. I know that the next size is a little bigger. Now here's the little one. See how small that micro is? That micro ball is, and the other side's just a little bit bigger. You know, these things are so useful when it comes to shaping rounded and tough areas where you can't, that just hid the crack in the ear. Let's see. I got my hand blocking. Yeah, I know, guys. Just give me a second here and you can see what I'm doing. Now, let me take a look at my depth. They're on the money. That's on the money. This earlobe on this side sticks out just a little bit further than the other earlobe. The other earlobe's pretty flush, but that's okay. Each side of the face is always going to be a little different. All right, so I need to go a little bit bigger now to try and round this out here. I'm just going to work with the round tools that I have right now. this is just shaping it. This isn't the fine detail yet. No, no, no. We're not there yet. This is just making sure that the shape is all right. Believe it or not, the naphtha does most of the work when it comes to the smoothing out. Now I got so many different methods to what I use. Sometimes I don't ever stick to one thing. I always try different things. Because you never know, you run into that one thing that might be real easy for you to be able to make life easier for you later on when you're trying to. I got all these brushes in my way, and I can't see where my. All right, so I want the big one for inside of here. Yeah, it's too big. I can use the back side. Let me see if that back side. No, not quite. That's not what I want. Well, in this case, I leave the little side to the side. That's right. Okay. All right, so I need to go with the smaller one because this is just a little bit too. Now let's do some finger work so I can get this smoothed out up top a little bit better. And using your fingers, believe it or not, also warms the clay up, makes it a little bit more manageable. But if it gets too warm, it'll start literally not that manageable at all. It just makes it worse. So I always I'll go a little bit and then come on, man, what is that? Just one little spot there we go. All right, I'm gonna have to put a little worm clay in here, which is perfect. That worm that I had sitting there, pulling out of that, what do you call it? It's going to go right in here. I don't need all of it. I just need a little bit. Yeah, that's looking a little better. I think I'm going to push up some more. I'm going to put a little more clay up in here too. It's just a little too flimsy, it feels like. And what's nice is by filling in that gap, and I'll show you what I'm going to do once I get that filled in. I'm going to push that in to the inner ear so it's stronger. We don't want this to be too much of a cleft there, too much of a gap, or we don't want it to be too deep. Because any undercuts, and that's still an undercut, believe it or not, right there. What's in here is an undercut, so this is awesome. Having the right tools definitely makes a big difference. You gotta have the tools. A little bit of a spot right here. It's not to my liking still. There we go. And that spot still needs to be filled in a little bit more. All right, now you see what I did here is I filled in all this back area here. Now what I'm going to do is find the right size ball to fit in there, and I think I got it. That's going to give it more of a natural look. I don't even have to look at that. I can feel the pressure of what I'm doing here. All right, now with what's left, I want to go smaller. You got to get up on top where the ear shape actually goes right up into the. There you go. Now I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to smooth out the outer edge. And now I want to blend where you can see the clay meets the inner ear. I want to hide that. Believe it or not, I'm still learning how to use soft monster clay. It's not an exact now the more I feel a dip right here. There's a little dip in that clay, so I want to make sure that I get that out of there. And I took that little worm, folded it in half, and it's about that size. Like I said, ears are not perfect at all. If your ear looks perfect, then I'd say go back to the drawing board, because the ears do not look good if they're perfect. I've had so many people actually say, how do you get your ears so perfect? Believe me, they're not perfect. And then I've had some people, I've seen some ear jobs that were as far away from perfect as possible that look best. They look more realistic. Ears are, I think the hardest thing is actually the nose. And the reason I say that is because the nose is kind of perfect. It's not easy to shape a nose just right, you know. Not easy to do a nose perfect. Alright, so we're getting to the point where we're almost ready to, no we're not. One problem, this right here is a little bit of a, just going to take a little of this worm clay here, and we're going to stick it in there like that. Shouldn't use the word perfect. I'm thinking to myself, I just got done saying how important it is not to be perfect, and yet here I am using the word perfect. Nah, I'm using it, and it's perfectly incorrect. Perfectly messy. I don't know. Oh yeah. Yeah, baby. See all these little lines I'm putting in here? It's all gonna come out. Ooh. Need a little more worm. And another worm. Always you gotta check the top of your ear. Make sure there's no seam from where the old clay was and the new clay is. I honestly don't like to I don't put a lot of pressure, not with this. I'm just blending. I'm just blending and blending and blending. There's little rake marks in there. But the shape is the most important part, making sure that the shape is right. It's not a now getting into that 45 can be a problem. Not anymore. Now here I got a little tiny tool. I don't know if you can see that. But that has a little bit of a round, I can't remember what this tool is called. There's actually a name for it and I can't remember. But I gotta get into here and blend that against the head. Okay. That fast. Boom. That fast. Boom. Now let me check behind the ear here. For anything that looks like it needs to be done a little better. Right in here is a little bit of a seam. I'm barely putting any kind of pressure into that at all. The reason why is because my brush, once I've used the naphtha, now I don't like the way this ear is sitting here. It's not dented in far enough. So what I want to do, I'm going to use a smaller scoop. Maybe this will do it. Hold on. I'm not trying to dig down in the face of this. I'm just trying to get this back area here a little bit. It looks a little too shallow, or it looks a little too it's coming out to, it's not, no, it's hard to explain. Wish I knew all the terminology for the shapes that I'm actually trying to convey to you guys. But I don't know all the shape names. And if you asked me what I just said, I wouldn't even know what the hell I just said. So, crazy, huh? I just start talking. Now I understand what Bob Ross did. He just mumbled and mumbled and mumbled and didn't know what he was talking about. I mean, he does and he doesn't. I know what I'm trying to say. I just get my mind focused on this, and I'm talking, and I'm trying to convey a story at the same time, I guess. And sometimes it's not that easy. Now we're getting there. You need a little smaller scoop. Keep that brush out. And I think looking pretty. I think what I'll do now is I'm going to put now I'm pushing it. Now I'm just moving clay. All right. All right. I think I'm done with the balls. I'm done with the balls. And I'm done with the worms. Now I just want to try and smooth that with my fingers just a little bit. I'm rubbing it real lightly. Oh, Johnny Boy's back, baby. Why am I seeing this here? Okay. I need my... What I like to do is, once I get, right before I start really putting the finish together on this thing, what I will end up doing is taking a flashlight and really going over this whole thing really good. You know, what I mean is you take the flashlight and you put it up on the different angles. You put the flashlight in all different angles, and this way you can see every little detail that you may have missed. Because sometimes this saturated light will hide things, and you have to really triple check your work. Because even if you have the best eye in the world, if you don't see it, it ain't there. And it's not there until you make the mold and the sculpture, and you come up with that, and you're going, oh my God, how the hell did I miss that? All right, so the first thing we'll do is we're going to get this thing wet. We're going to get it wet. Get that naphtha working. Get that naphtha working. I just had a little, my first bout of a little bit of nausea. Just my first bout though. Just a little bit, not much. I don't know what that was all about, but it hit me just now. I haven't felt that at all since I've had this. Alright, so I'm going to get the back side of the ear. Wash off that clay on that brush, because that brush, if it's not clean, it just keeps piling up, and all of a sudden you get a lot more streaks in your clay. You want it smooth, not, you don't want to see a bunch of brush strokes. Now what you do, you let that set for about an hour and harden up. About an hour, you let it harden up, and then you rebrush it again with a brush. Only I'll use a finer brush. I'll use this brush. And now I like using synthetic because the hairs don't come out as easy. Yeah, so that's what you want to do. You definitely want to do that. I see some lumping in here that I'm not too crazy about, but that's can be fixed once. And I'm also going to dig out this cleft. I call it the ear cleft. Here's the ear lobe, and here's the ear cleft. And that's to protect your inner ear. I guess that's what the, nature intended it for it to be. It's to protect so things don't get into your ear hole. This ear cleft, It's like a little cliff that overhangs on your ear, And I want to dig this out just a little bit in here, but I got to wait till it's a little harder before I do that, because right now trying to work with that would be very messy. And I see a little area here, just trouble spot. A trouble spot. A lot less than it looks. A lot less than it looks. And I'm just going to put it in there to remind me for later, once that hardens up. Once it hardens up, then I'll be able to smooth that out. But that's the ear in a nutshell. That's a little better. Now what I'll do is I'll let that clay harden up real good. I'll fix the little imperfections that I want to. And the other thing I want to do is fix this area here where I saw that extra imperfections in the neck area here. Now I did the I need a new sponge. I got to get my texture sponge back. So what I did here is I made the puncture wound and not so graphic on here, because this is going to be the original 78. Here's my logo, in case you didn't see it. That's my Night Creeper 78. That goes on the mask. That'll be in the mask underneath the hairline. Custom Corpses Night Creeper 78. That's and this is where the seam is for the. All right, so let me take a look at the front of this bad boy. Was there anything else I wanted to do to the mouth area? Well, there was a little bit here. It's just a little. There's this little lump right there that's a little too high. Doesn't look quite natural. And I mean just a little. Now when I get close to where I want it to be as far as height goes, I start working in circular motions like this. Because all I'm trying to do is smooth at that point. I'm not trying to take off too much. But that's just my way. It even has the little air bubble in the mouth still. The lips are a little fuller. The upper lip's a little fuller. I didn't really change too much to the bottom lip. I did carve into this area just a little bit more to dig out that section. But the lips look really, I think they look good now. They do. They look good. Now we're going to do a little bit more texturing on this. We'll see how this looks now. Yeah, I couldn't quite figure out what was wrong with the lips. They didn't quite look realistic. And that's because I forgot about the muscle structure. You have to remember to always put that in there. The muscle structure has to be there. And of First, I'm going to texture this a little bit. Yeah, man, I really like the way that looks now. That looks so much better. And now I'm going to texture it since I've got my little sponge here, just so I can get them brush marks out of there. Now what I don't like is I don't like seeing all this. Alright, so I'm going to take my, see there's little, I call them boogers. I don't want boogers on there, so I'm going to use a real soft brush, and that's this one here. That won't leave any impression. We're just going to wipe off those boogers. You know, the funny thing is, the more I do this, the more I learn. The more things that I learn how to do things certain ways, and that it's just a learning process. It's just learning how to work and manipulate clay. Um, yeah, took care of them boogers. And I didn't put any brush marks in it. That's what I aim to do. Now, what I'll do is I'll jack this up now so you can see. Hold on. I'm gonna turn this so it's facing downwards. Okay. So what do you guys think of this so far? Huh? When this is out, are you buying a mask? That's what I want to know. Are you guys going to buy one of these bad boys? This is a Night Creeper 78. We've got the ears done now, I think. I'm happy with those. And I'm happy with, actually, I'm still not quite happy with this, the way this is not. I know what it is I have to do there. I hate like how to do it, but I gotta do it. Need to put more clay right in this one spot because this has got to be higher right there. Okay. That looks better to me now. And now, that looks a lot better. Okay. I'll have to take I haven't looked at the ear picture real good in a while, so when it comes to really fine tuning this to make it look like the real ear from Halloween, the first movie, I will pull up a picture of that mask to really fine tune what it's supposed to look like here. If that makes any sense. Instead of doing it now, well, it's because I'm live with you guys right now, and I can't look at the pictures. They're on my computer. Because I'm reading your comments, and I'm monitoring my video at the same time. So, not exactly something I want to do at the same time. Now we're just going to let that dry. And I want to take this brush and wipe out any kind of out those strokes. I'm going to have to redo the sideburns. I want them done right. They got to be in the right position. So how many are on with me right now? What's that say? 440 subscribers. Where is the one watching? Okay, there's one guy on. That's okay. It's an odd time of the day, I know. Well, I got the ears done. To an extent, I still got a little bit left to do here. I want to fix that ear cliff a little bit. And Not sure I'm digging the nose too much, like right in here, the tip, like this area is supposed to be a little bit more bulgy. I don't know though, it looks pretty good the way it is. I gotta get this point right. The point of the nose has to be right in this area. I really want to get it as close to the Shatner as possible, as far as the shape of the head. And there's a little bit of nonsense here that I don't dig in too much. That works. I like that. Not that fast. I fixed that. Oh yeah, we are close to the finish line here, and I'm just going to smooth out, like, texture all the whole thing with a really fine sponge. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm done. Just I guess on this, on how to do the ears, how to work on the Michael Myers sculpt. I guess I'm just refining it. I got to get something to eat. That's what's wrong with me right now. I'm hungry. So got to let that clay harden for a couple of hours. Then I'm going to fix the little imperfections that I want to fix, and get it really close to where I want it to be. You know what? There's another little place here. It has to be right. And it's going to take such a small little tiny piece of clay. I hate notice that stuff after I put the hate noticing things when after I put the naphtha on there, because you can't really work with it when you do the naphtha. You gotta kind of. All right, so I gotta fix this little spot right there. Just a little too. It's like this little. Okay. Now I need a really small. Nope, can't do that. What do I need? What do I need? Yeah, that's straight. Sometimes you gotta touch this thing, barely touch it, just a whisper. It figures. And of course, I dug into that. I accidentally hit that, not seeing the. Good. Okay. Now a little naphtha on that, and that'll be where we need to be. Now what I'm I'm doing is I'm going to soften that real quick. Let that sit for a second. Same process. I got to do the brush again, the little brush. I got to texture it. Just want to see the shine disappear. As soon as the shine disappears, then I'm ready to put the sponge on it. I need a clean spot on the sponge. Here we go. Oh, this is a little off too. That's nice. It's not boogering up because the sponge is clean. Found a clean spot. As long as there's no clay on the sponge, you won't get those boogers. You'll just get a nice soft texture. But the sponge does get dirty after a couple of times. So, no boogers. I thought I was going to have to rebrush that booger, or rebrush the boogers out. Alright, so there's El Capitan. Alright guys, I'm going to say have a wonderful afternoon. And I did start getting a little lethargic, and that's because I know that I have to eat something. It's time to eat. That's the one thing about this medication is I have to eat, not as much, but frequently. Frequently to eat, to really, and I'm seeing what I want to do here is I want, what do I do with it? It was here. There it is. It's looking at me straight on. Just reestablishing the line where I was using the reestablishing the line. I got some smoothing to do. On the top of the head anyway, so that line doesn't have to be like really deep. You don't want the line too deep anyway. Okay, I still got to fix this ear a little bit, but I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Now the lip being a little bumpy here is going to give it that authentic feel of realism because our skin is lumpy. We don't have perfect I don't know what I keep doing, man. I just got a nasty bump on my hand right here. It's all swollen right in here. Bruised this hand one day, bruised this hand another day. So, I don't know what's going on. Got to figure it out. Fix that just a little bit. Good. Steady hand always wins the race. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh man, you had those lips perfect before. Well, that's perfect if it's a flashback mask, but not if it's a original 78. So I'm kind of like trying to get my base sculpt. I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and I'm trying to create my base sculpt just like this. You know what I mean? So I have a base sculpt now that I can actually alter the shape ever so slightly to make it look like the flashback mask, to make it look like the H2 original, Halloween 2. I can make it look like the 2018. You know, I'm not trying to replicate the new series of Michael Myers masks because that came from the mold. So why bother? But what I am going to do is give you a 2018 version of this, you know, and it kills of this, and an ends of this. And instead of trying to resculpt it to make it look exactly like the 2018 mask, there's no point to that because that is actually from the movie Mold. So why do we want to do that? You know, just kind of, you know, and I like those guys too, so I'm not going to try and, I like that mask. I actually have the kills, the ends, and I'm going to overhaul them. That's going to be another project that I'm going to be doing, so that'll be coming up. I'm going to put my tools away this time, so I'm not trying to clear the bench every time I try to work here. Oh yeah. Got my big lump of clay here, the hard stuff. And I'm going to have to study that nose a little bit better to see where we're at. Looks like the tip is a little crooked here. I got to straighten that out. That's going to be another job for another day. But yeah, I don't want this to be, I want it to look good. Oh yeah. So I got the yawns. I'm hungry, and it's time for me to get something to eat and move on to, yeah, I can't wait till this is done. This is going to be awesome. May have made the lips a little too thick, but that's okay. All I have to do is kind of push down in here, push it down a little bit more, lower this, make sure that this doesn't lose its height here. Push this down in this area. I'm going to look at some pictures before I do anything to this. So, oh yeah, I'm happy. I'm really getting honed in on what I want. It's going to be a nice mask. You guys are looking for that original feel. You'll be able to, I'll be able to paint this version right here into the 2018, or 2018, I'm sorry, the 1978 or the Halloween 2 1981. I'll be able to paint it either way. And that'll give you, just depending on the paint job, that'll give you what mask you'll have. on those two versions, and then I'm going to alter this into the flashback as well as the 2018 kills, and then the ends mask. And then I'm going to do a concept mask too. I'm going to do my own concept. And I've seen, it's funny, I came up with this idea a while back, combination of like what happened to Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I hated that. I hated his movies, but where the mask got torn away. Well, now all of a sudden I've seen a lot of pictures of already something of what I wanted to do originally. I actually said it on here that I've got my idea of what I want to do before I saw any of these pictures, and I'm going, oh man, I knew somebody was going to think of that, and sure enough they did. So my idea was to have one side of the face or the other. I think it has to be, you hate to lose the check mark and the cheek, so I don't want to lose that portion. I'm not going to destroy the eyes. I thought about that. But I am going to take away like a portion of the lip here on this side, and maybe torn down the neck, like a rip down the neck, and expose like a skeleton type of look in the mouth right in here, so you know that he is not human. He's a zombie. He can be whatever you think he might be. But taking away the eye cuts, I think, is a mistake. I've seen some pictures where one eye was gone, like it was a skeleton. Oh no, he only has one eye. You remember that? He's already been stabbed in that one eye. So, if you're following the new timeline, so if that's the case, you can't take this eye away. You would have to tear away from this side if you're going to take away an eye, because he needs at least one eye to see. But if he's a zombie, he don't see anyway, so it doesn't matter. He just reacts to sound, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, noise. So a zombie under the mask? I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. We're going to find that out soon enough, aren't we? So we'll see. Yep, we shall see. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, I have to admit. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off of here. Thanks for tuning in. And where did I see that one person watching? 2 people watching now. So I got to get something to eat because my sugar's dropping. I can feel it. I can actually feel it. But I did the ears. I still got to fix a little bit of the flaws with the ears. And I'm still going to work on this mouth a little bit more. I think the mouth is still just a little too, the upper lip's a little too big yet. It has to come down just a little bit, not much, but just a little bit. I'm finding this area here, right here, it looks a little too thick right in here. I just need to push this down a little bit more, and that'll look better. The other side looks like it's at the right height. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll get it right. We'll get it until, I'll keep pushing at it until I get it exactly the way I want it. But I needed that lip to be a little fuller because it looked too much. It looked carved. Some people would say, oh no, it was perfect. No, it was perfect for you. I'm trying to replicate the Shatner mask. I'm trying to replicate that, and then I'm going to alter this into I'm going to alter it to multiple sculpts. I've got so much I want to do. It's not funny. Man, I was so alert just a few minutes ago. Now I'm like, I gotta eat. I'm starving. I'm starving, and my sugar's dropping, and I can feel it. I think that little nausea that I got a little while ago was a little warning shot. So, what happens is the sugar will go up or down. I'm not sure exactly which. Sometimes I can tell the difference. But if I don't eat, um, I'll start getting that dry mouth right away. As soon as I eat, the dry mouth disappears and everything. And so all of a sudden I feel great. But I can't eat a lot. That's the key. So, all right. Let me jump off of here, guys. Let me give you an idea of what I've done. Did the ears? Hold on. Got to zoom out. Did the ears. You can see the mouth. That's still got to be changed a little bit. But I'm going to get this thing perfect. I want it really, really, really nice. Because it just needs to be done right. Anyway, peace, everybody. Have a great day, and thanks for tuning in. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the like button. They love the like button. And I am going to build this channel up, and hopefully I can get it going. So right now I'm doing lives. I'm going to be doing uploaded videos soon because that's the only way you can get monetized. You can't do it with lives. So, and I am going to create some shorts. I'm actually talking to a friend of mine. We're going to try and make little funny videos with Michael Myers and any other sculpture or creature that I create. All right, let it go, and peace. Got to get off of here. I got to go eat. Have a great day. Have a great afternoon. If I don't see you before the weekend, have a great weekend. See ya.